Okay, if you go to my website, you are going to see that there are two tabs here called Interactive and then Interactive number 2. So when you click on Interactive, the first one, you will need to log in to Discovery Education, which is WCP, and then your student ID number, and then your password is your student ID number. So once you log in, you will be brought to this screen, which should look familiar because we've done labs like this before. Just go ahead and click Continue. So you have a graduated cylinder here and then an object. Okay, you have to give the object a mass, and it tells you on the screen right here that it needs to be between 10 and 40 grams. All right, so let's just say you start with a mass of 10. You must then give the object volume. Go ahead and start with the smallest one, and then you must submerge it in alcohol. The density of alcohol is 0.8. Okay, the density of our object, you take mass divided by volume, we get a density of 5. This number is bigger than the density of alcohol, so you would expect it to sink. So once it drops in there, and you see that it actually sinks. What I would recommend doing is trying to come up with a combination of both. How can I come up with a density that comes out to less than 0.8 to show that the object will float? All right, so what we could do here is we could keep our mass 10, but change that to a 20. All right, notice the size of the object increases, but look at the density, 0.5 versus 0.8. Since the object's density is less than that of alcohol, it will float. And when it goes in the graduated cylinder, you can see that it does in fact float. All right, and what you'll do is reset this to different substances. So the next one you'll change it to cooking oil, and then trying to come up with different number combinations to show when it will sink and then when it will actually float. The second interactive number 2, if you click on it, there's no need to log on, but you can see that you are testing these different materials right here, and you can choose to test them in any order that you like. So let's say you want to test the cork. You bring the cork down to the scale, and you record the mass on your data table in the mass column. Then you take and drag your cork into the bucket, and water is displaced out of the bucket because the cork takes up room in the bucket and water has to leave. Each of these little lines is 1/10, 0.1. So you look and see this one goes just one line past, so that would be 8.1. So you have to do a little math. You have to do 4 divided by 8.1. You're going to get a number less than 1. So the container is filled with water. The density of water is 1. So if my number is going to come out to a number less than 1, I'm going to say that it will float. So let's see what happens. And you can see that the cork does in fact float. And then what you would do is you would pick a different object, do the same process. So you have 20 grams for the lead, and it displaces 1.8 milliliters of water. So 20 divided by, let's say, almost 2 gives me an answer of 10. Well, I know the density of water is isn't greater than 10, it's 1. I would expect the lead to sink, and you can see that it does in fact sink.